Sir, one of my friends went to the UK. He did his masters. He found a job, but after just 1 year, he came back to India. Now he's back to India, sir. I don't want that, sir. I want to go to the UK, live there, permanently live there, and try to settle down there. Or if not settle down there, I want to work there for a while, get the exposure, and then come back to India or come back to my home country and do well in my career. So, sir, will I be able to get a sponsored job in the UK or not? This is a question that I get asked almost 5 times a day. That's the number of times I meet new students in my one on one consultations. And every single day, I explain this, what I'm about to explain you over the next 20 minutes. And I will try my best that I explain everything to you like you're a child, like in the simplest terms possible, so that you don't have a single question about sponsorships going forward. In this video, I'm going to cover, first of all, what's a sponsorship, what does it mean by a self-sponsored visa and a sponsored skilled worker visa. I'm going to explain what are the technical requirements of getting a skilled worker visa. I'm going to explain what is the practical reality, because on paper it is very easy, but what is the technical reality, what is the practical reality in terms of who gets sponsored and who does not get sponsored. And finally, what are some of the challenges surrounding the sponsorships, what are some of the recent changes that have been introduced, and finally, who qualitatively, when I say qualitatively, that who will the company actually be sponsoring. And I guess once I have covered all the technical and the practical aspects of the things, you will get an idea about whether you will be able to get a sponsorship or not. And if not, then what can you do to actually make that thing happen? So let us start with the video. All right. First of all, let us understand what does sponsorship mean. Like, what exactly does the term sponsorship mean? So in any country in the world, including India, so let's take an example. If I am an American citizen and I am in India, I am not allowed to work. I cannot work there, and I cannot just go to a store and start working. Why? Because every country wants to protect its own citizens. They want to make sure that, okay, it is our citizens that get the jobs first, and just in case the companies or the employers are not able to find someone out of our own citizens or our own people, then that's in that case we should allow the companies to hire someone from outside so that the job gets done. So when a company is taking that responsibility that, hey, we want to keep this person, we want to make sure that this person keeps working for us, in simple terms, this is what is known as a sponsorship. Now, when you go to the UK for your master's degree, I am sure that you know that after completing your master's, you will be getting a 1.5 years of post-study work visa. PSW, graduate route, whatever you want to call it. This post-study work visa is a self-sponsored visa. What does a self-sponsored visa mean? It means that you have actually sponsored yourself. Just because you have done a master's degree in the UK, the government allows you that, hey, you can sponsor yourself for 1.5 years. And this is what is known as a self-sponsored graduate route visa. Because here you are the one who has sponsored yourself the visa, you are the one who has paid the fee, you are the one who is getting this right to work for 1.5 years in the UK. Now, once the self-sponsorship period is over, someone else has to sponsor you. And who would that be? That would be the company, or that would be your employer, whosoever is willing to hire you. Now let us dive a little bit into the technical requirements from the employer as well as you, that what is expected out of you and what is the minimum criteria for an employer. Because we generally always ask that, okay, if I want a sponsorship, what will I have to do? We also have to ask this question whether a company can sponsor or not, right? Any organization that wishes to sponsor foreign workers to work in the UK, it needs to be an established entity. It needs to be having legitimate business operations. It needs to be having a revenue. And most importantly, the company needs to be having a sponsor license. Now, if we talk about most of the small and large companies, I guess all of them have a sponsor license. If there's this website of, like, there's this link by the gov.uk, I will post it in the description box as well. You can go on that link and you can have a look at the number of sponsors. The number is in, I think, lakhs by now. There are lakhs of sponsors in the UK that can actually offer you a skilled worker visa. But just by having that sponsor license does not mean that they can just sponsor anyone and everyone. They need to be maintaining a certain amount of revenue. They need to be having legitimate business operations. And of course, I believe that if a company or if a business is hiring you and they're about to pay you a salary, so they should be having a legitimate business operations, right? Till the time you're not getting involved in immigration fraud, which I believe none of my subscribers do. I have some of the brightest and the best students across all the consultancies, and I love you guys because the students that I get to work with are really the best. So I am sure that if you're watching this video, you really want to talk about legitimate things only, not immigration fraud and shit like that other people sell you. So if there's a company that is giving you a job, they would be having a legitimate business operation. Only that is why they are having that sponsor license, and they can actually sponsor you. Now, this was at the company's end. Now, as an employee, what all do you need in order to be sponsored? Let us break this down step by step, and I will build it up for you so that you understand it conveniently and smoothly. First of all, according to the rules, the UKVI has designated a going rate for each and every occupation. A link has been posted in the description box, link number 2, which has a list of all the going rates for different occupations. For example, for the occupation of finance officer, the going rate is £33,400, and I will come down to it in a bit. I will explain this in a bit. For IT manager, the going rate is £54,900 a year. Similarly, for all the different occupations, as you can see on the screen right now, there is a different going rate for all different occupations. Now, if you are sitting in India and a company directly wants to hire you, that company has to pay you either this going rate or £41,700, whichever is higher. Let me repeat, whichever is higher. So if the going rate for a particular occupation is, say, £35,000, if the company is willing to give you a salary of £35,000, inviting you to the UK, you still cannot get sponsored. Why? Because the minimum has to be £41,700. This is the rule if a company wants to hire a skilled worker from outside of the UK. However, you, as someone watching this video, you would be going to the UK and you will be completing your master's degree. Now, the government must incentivize you for something, right? They're charging double the fee than their domestic students, so there should be some incentive. And there is. The incentive is called as the new entrant scheme. Now, how does this new entrant scheme work? The new entrant scheme gives you a 30% discount on the going rate or £33,400, whichever is higher. Now let me explain this again with an example. Let's take an example. You go to the UK, you complete your master's, and you apply for this particular job role for which the going rate is £35,000. Now, the new entrant scheme gives you a 30% discount. With a 30% discount, this salary will come down to £24,000. Now, you might be thinking that if my salary is just £24,000 a year, I will be able to get a sponsorship, right? No. The government has designated that the minimum in order to be sponsored, even under the new entrant scheme, is £33,400. Now, depending upon whatever you are studying and whatever job roles you will be targeting, you can get an estimate of what kind of a salary I will need after working in the UK on my post-study work visa to actually get sponsored. Let's take an example. If you are studying cybersecurity, the going rate for cybersecurity professionals is £49,000. So let's put a 30% discount on £49,000. So £15,000 gone. So roughly around £35,000. This is what you will need. This is the salary that you will need in order to get sponsored in the UK on a skilled worker visa under the new entrant scheme. I hope that the salary threshold thing is now absolutely clear to you and you know what number you will be needing. For most of the people watching this video, I believe that the range is going to be between 33,400, that is obviously the minimum, to 37 to 38,000 pounds, because you are going after 2, 3, 4 years of experience, or maybe as a fresher, which I don't recommend in a lot of cases. But even if you are going, if you have no other choice, then yes, the salary between 33 to 37,000 pounds would do the job for you to get sponsored, because even if I add 30% on top of that, the kind of job roles that are there are the ones that you will be actually getting into. So to summarize this, 33,400 pounds on the lower end or 70% of the going rate. This is what is the rule of salary threshold. Now, this was what the technical reality is. Now let's dive a little bit into the practical nuances, the practical reality of things. The practical reality of things is, let's imagine that Sharpgrad, a company based out of UK, wants to hire Chandan. I'm just calling you Chandan or Chandana, based out of India. Or say, Chandan or Chandana that has come to the UK, studied and now completed his master or her master's degree and, is working with Sharpgrad, and I really want to keep you, I really want to sponsor you. I, as Sharpgrad, will have to designate an authorized person. I will have to pay a sponsorship fee. I will have to make sure that, you make your IHS payments. I will have to comply with the UKVI requirements. The UKVI might just, designate an audit or a random check in terms of, am I, following all the compliances? So it's additional headache for me as a company. Let's just understand it like this. It's additional headache for me as a company to keep you sponsored. Now, for any business, any person, good or bad, no one wants additional headache. No one at all wants additional headache in their life, right? And this is where many people, despite of the fact that even if they are meeting the salary threshold, their company is not willing to sponsor them. And that is why a lot of people eventually, do not end up finding sponsorship in the UK. Now, this is why I always tell my students that when you're going to the UK, never, ever, ever, ever plan things in a way that I will get sponsored 100%. I absolutely say there's a 50-50% chance. If you are lucky, if everything is aligning very well, yes, the company that you're working for might just sponsor you while you're in the UK. If not, you should always have a plan B, and that plan B can be maybe going on a self-sponsored visa, setting up a business, or being open to the fact that, hey, let me come back to India, or let me move to a different country, let me start working. I will continue to apply for jobs in the UK. The new entrant scheme is still applicable for 4 years. I should be able to land somewhere. Okay? You should always have this plan B in your mind. Now, I want to dive a little bit into the perspective of the employers. And these insights that I'm about to share, I would like to thank my friend Arif, who is based out of Liverpool. He has a business, he has this large accounting firm, and this business provides accounting services to a lot of e-commerce providers in the UK and Europe. So I was meeting him, I was in Manchester, I met him, and we were, having a good boys' night out. And he was telling me that I was told him that, that, okay, I am sometimes very, very much worried about my students in terms of, that how will they land sponsored jobs, because some of them have taken such big loans. How are they going to figure out the things? So Arif told me that they recently sponsored a person who had also, completed her master's at University of Liverpool, 1.5 years of post-study work visa. So I saw it as a great opportunity. Let me ask him, hey, what made you sponsor this person? So when I asked him, tell me your insights on, what made you sponsor this person? So what he told me was something very mind-opening, I would say, and something very insightful, which was, I just couldn't let this person go. As simple as that. I just couldn't let this person go. Now what this, actually made me go back to my dating days. Now I'm a married man, different story now, but it made me go back to my dating days. When I was in my college, right, I was dating a girl, and I remember I had, some girl space friends, just, girls that are friends, and then there are, then there was my girlfriend. If my girlfriend would drop me a message at 11 p.m. in the night, right, hey, I am thirsty, I would pick up a bottle of water and maybe go outside her home. Not kidding, I haven't done this shit, but I'm giving you an idea that when you really cannot let a person go, right, when someone is very precious to you, you're willing to take this pain. you're willing to take this pain that, okay, even if I have to do some compliance, even if I have to pay some fee, 1,500, 2,000 pounds, which for any business is not a big deal. Even if I have to pay this money, it's okay. I will pay that, but I can't let this person go. And what Arif told me was that this candidate, this person, has been handling 40 of his clients effectively. The clients are very happy. Because of her, the revenue of the business has grown by almost 100,000 pounds. He's paying her a decent salary. He's like, even if I have to pay 2,000 pounds to this person who is playing such a crucial part in my company, why should I be hesitating away from a sponsorship? As simple as that. Now, what advice I have based on this insight that I want to give you? If sponsorship is very important to you after you complete your masters, देखो भाई, बड़ी सिंपल चीज. Skill level, there are 3 types of skill levels. 1, top 10%, 2, top 5%, 3, top 1%. If you're not in the top 10%, forget a sponsor job, you're not getting a job. That's one thing, right? Because no one wants to deal with average crowd. There are many jobs for you which you can do if you're average. But the first thing should be, okay, I need to be in the top 10%. That's one. Second thing, if you really want to get sponsored, you have to work on your skills that you are between the top 1% to top 5% mark so that you become indispensable for the company that you are working for. This is one. Second thing, this friend of mine, Arif, he runs a small company, like 15-20 people, not a very big company, right? Always target smaller to medium-sized companies as compared to Deloitte, Microsoft, Google. I know you want to work there. I know that is your dream, right? But listen, if you, Chandan, is at Deloitte and Deloitte realizes that, hey, your visa is expiring, your post-study work visa is expiring, Deloitte knows that there are 5,000 Chandans waiting to get that job at Deloitte. They won't care. Why? Because you will ask your manager will ask their manager will ask their manager will ask their manager. Then they would say that, oh, there's a policy. The policy says that we will not be sponsoring anyone less than a senior manager, or we will not be sponsoring anyone less than an associate director, and you're gone. Your sponsorship journey is over. So if sponsorship is very important to you, target jobs in smaller to medium-sized companies so that you can directly talk to the decision maker. So that, for example, Arif, I'm giving his example again and again, just like that person who got sponsored, talk to him. Hey, I need the support. I was like, okay, cool. This is the cost. This is what I will bear. You will have to pay your IHS fee and all. Okay, done. Job done. Got sponsored. I know not as easy as it sounds, but this is one of the practical realities. This is the advice number 2 that comes out from this whole sponsorship scenario. Advice number 3 is a reiteration of what I already mentioned. Always have a plan B. And the plan B can be something as simple as go to the UK, do your masters from a top university first of all. Why? Because, see, you have to become attractive. Your profile has to be attractive. Only then a company is going to put all that effort. If your profile is like everyone else's profile, if you have also done masters in global business management from Middlesex University, Coventry University, I don't know about these universities, you're just like the 300,000 other students, from Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, I don't know, Zimbabwe, all these places. Your profile is not standing out. You have to be attractive. Or another thing, go in a particular job role that is in dire shortage. For example, healthcare. Now, for healthcare related programs, even these universities are best. I would say it's some of the best because you get the same license. Go to tier 2, tier 3 universities for professional programs, masters in physiotherapy pre-registration, masters in speech and language therapy, masters in occupational therapy. These are the programs that get you a license as a healthcare professional to work in the UK. And there is a dire shortage of, sounds like major dire though, but there's a dire shortage of healthcare professionals in the UK. Now, when a company is not willing to find someone in the UK to do that job, they have no other option but to sponsor you, right? If you are a licensed professional there, they see you, hey, I'm ready to work, they would be happy to sponsor you. That is one scenario. Or you have to become indispensable. Your profile has to be super duper attractive. You need to be having a degree from a reputed university that is respected. If you will do your education from a Ulupullu university, your profile does not command respect. जो मर्जी कह लो कि हाँ जी स्किल्स ज़रूरी होते हैं, डिग्री कुछ नहीं होती। भाई आज भी आपके सामने आकर अगर कोई बोले ना मैं आईआईटी से हूँ, मैं आईआईएम से हूँ, आप उसकी बात सुन लेते हो, आप इज्जत देते हो उसको। उसके पीछे रीज़न है क्योंकि वो इंसान, वो ब्रांड, वो ट्रस्ट, वो क्रेडिबिलिटी लेकर आ रहा है। लेट मी रिपीट दिस इन इंग्लिश फॉर द नॉन हिंदी स्पीकिंग ऑडियंस. No matter how much we say that skills matter, the degrees don't matter nowadays, the colleges will shut down in 10 years, all of that is bullshit. Why? Because if someone comes to you today and tells you, hey, I'm from Harvard, or I'm from MIT, or I am from, I don't know, INSEAD, or I am from Oxford, you command that person commands respect. Why? Because that brand adds credibility to that person's achievements. If I come to you and say, hey, I will be a great manager and I am from the Punjab Technical University, you would be like, kaun hai ye aadmi? Why should I even be, talking to him? I have so many things to do. But if someone comes, hey, I can be a great manager and I studied business and management at the Harvard University or Oxford University, or even if these not schools, say some good schools, Waterloo, maybe Warwick, maybe Manchester, maybe Edinburgh, that adds credibility to your profile. And credibility is what makes your profile attractive. Credibility is, I believe, the most important thing in the world. To summarize all of it, you need a salary of 33,400 pounds or a little above that if the going rate for your occupation is a little higher. Have a plan B, that even if I don't get a sponsorship, it's okay. I am covered under the new entrant scheme for 4 years. After coming back, I can still apply for jobs and maybe land one. And this has happened to one of my candidates as well. Not my candidate, just friend of a student. So this happened to him as well. He came back to India, kept on applying, got a job. Company was willing to sponsor and he was able to get covered under the new entrant scheme that way. But all in all, your focus has to become indispensable. Keep working hard. You have to focus on getting into that top 1% to top 5% skill bracket. And if you do, I don't think sponsorship is that big of a deal. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you liked these insights. Follow for more content like this. Feel a little tired because my energy in this video went a little up. Then all of a sudden I feel a little tired right now, but I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much. And yes, obviously, let me do my marketing. If you want to speak to me one-on-one, there's a link in the comment box, in the pinned comment, on which you can book a consultation. Please note the slots for the next 15 days are already booked. So there's a number that I have given. You can drop a message on that. My request is that if you're already working on your applications with another consultancy, please do not book a consultation, because right now the time is such that I have limited slots and I only want to work with the students who are willing to work with me. But other than that, if you have a question, just otherwise, drop me a message. I will definitely take out some time and reply to you. Okay? Might be sounding a little selfish, but I'm just putting it out transparently that right now the time that I have is limited. The September intake is near. I really want to connect with the students who are genuinely interested in working with me so that I can coach them, guide them, mentor them in achieving all their dreams. Thank you so much. Have a lovely rest of the day. Bye-bye.